Today we start a new journey because this is the very first episode of a new series featuring different concepts, a boss fight, and especially me struggling a lot. So let's just get right into it. Some while ago I was just messing around with the new jump to dash triggers and experimenting with the new camera and everything else. We can say that I was in quotes training to make a cool level in the 2.2 update, but it turns out I ended up making this. When I finished this, I thought that this level was not looking out that bad, so I decided to give it a shot and try to finish this. So I started making it. At first, I was completely lost at the new 2.2 editor. I didn't know how to use half of the triggers, and I didn't even know how the particles trigger worked. In fact, I still don't. I basically just started making random things. First, I started placing this pinwheel object around the monster. When I first stared at it, I thought it looked pretty good, but 5 minutes later I realized it was actually really mid, so I just got rid of it. And then I tried to make some in quotes dimensional cracks in this part. I don't know what I was thinking when I was making this level, but maybe I thought this could work, and guess what? It didn't. After deleting absolutely everything I was trying to make, I was already kinda panicking because I really couldn't do anything here. So for some reason I just decided to make a random tree, and I also made some apples in it. Before you say anything, yes, I'm completely aware from the fact that this apple looks like a tomato. After spamming some trees, I make a kinda round floating island in the background, and as you can tell by how much I spammed here, I was not really worried about the object count of this level at all. And after spamming everything I had made so far on the level, I started playing it, and as I stared at it, I continuously thought about how mid it was looking. Now, I get kinda tired and go play some levels that people in the chat sent to me, and oh my god, what is this?
What the hell?
Anyways, after that I ended the stream and went to sleep, but before I did a last playtest in this level, and this is how it was looking like so far. Now it is another day, and here I am, trying to save this garbage that I'm bold enough to call a level. The first thing I made was make another floating island, but this time I made it a kinda triangular shape, and after spamming it a lot, I made some clouds with some spikes below them, and I also spammed it all around the part. And after doing it, I do something that's quite strange. I decided to place an invert colors trigger right at the beginning of this level, just to see how it would look like, and to my surprise, it looks good. I don't know why, but it kinda saved it in my conception, so I decided to keep it there. Now, I tried to make some black particles on the foreground and in the background too, because I thought it would look sick, and this is how this level is looking like so far. I know, it's kinda mid, but at least we are starting to make it look better. Now, a pretty cool thing I made in this part was adding these pillars in front of everything, moving to the left. I just really like them. Now this is me experimenting with the gradient trigger. I just found out you can make this using it, and I think this is really cool. So I tried to use this in the level. I don't know about you, but for me it looks kinda terrible. So as everything else I was adding here, I just removed it. I decided to remove the invert colors triggers that I had added at the very beginning of the level, making the BG black again. I don't know, I think I just realized how mid this part was looking with this trigger on. Oh, and also I just had a kinda cool idea for a background. So since I was in this game of spamming slopes, I decided to spam slopes in the background too, but in a different way. I basically started using a lot of slopes and changing their shape using the warp trigger, just like that, making this very stretched thing in the background that I don't really know what to call it, but I like it nonetheless. I also made it pulse a bunch of colors and added some hue in it as well. After making a lot of mid things in this level, I finally like something I made here. Now, I make some grasses in the background and make them very dark to the point they are barely visible, just like that. And after adding some more random stuff to this level, honestly, this is starting to actually look good, but it's still not good enough for me. So I decided to add some bird monsters of sorts here, and I make them colorful too. Then I make some very big grass pillars that definitely are not copy and pasted, and whoa, this level really had a glow up. Compare this to how this was looking like at the beginning. We can say that I am starting to actually save this. Now I make a pretty interesting effect in which whenever the song beats, the screen kinda zooms in. And for that, I used the bulge trigger and made this. Now, it's the part that my mind explodes because unironically I managed to make a good transition. And believe it or not, I made it first try. So I really wanted to make something kinda random but cool at the same time. I will explain it to you what I did because it's kinda complicated. First, I added some random invisible objects here in the middle of nowhere and I added them to a group. And then I added some random pieces of the background to other groups. Afterwards, I did a very weird thing. I added a rotate trigger here and made random BG parts rotate around these objects, making it so it looks like the background is kinda getting shattered as the icon is progressing through the part. This didn't even take me too long to make. In fact, I managed to finish this in less than 1 hour. And honestly, I think this looks pretty sick. The last thing I have to make in this part is some block design. And this is the part that gets me kind of emotional. So I have to turn off the lights for a second here. You guys already know that I am the glow guy, right? I only make glow style levels and I've been making glow style block designs forever at this point. But I decided that I wanna be a better creator in general. In 2.2, I wanna be like Voxycat, like Blee, like one of these amazing creators that actually have their unique and own art style. I really wanna achieve that, and to be able to get it, I will have to leave behind the thing that carried me the most throughout my entire creation journey. The glow. Instead of just making some glowy block designs full of lines as I always did, I just decided to make a way simpler thing. I just made some mini floating islands of sorts and I used them as block designs in this part. And I made them float along with the background when the cube gets to the transition part. And honestly, in my opinion, this does not look bad at all. This must be the easiest block design I've ever done in my entire life. So yeah, expect this level to be completely different from anything I've ever done in this game. The last thing I will make here is to change this monster and do something else instead. It's just that this is looking kinda boring and generic, and I want the boss fights from this level to be more iconic and memorable in general. After thinking for a while, I actually managed to come up with a pretty nice idea. So I went there and did this. Yes, I made a wide smiling Geometry Dash cube with a scythe, and this is going to be the boss fight from this level, and his name is the Reaper of Dimensions. I will still make a good lore for this level, so this name will make sense in the future, don't worry. But yeah, this thing definitely took way longer than I thought it would. I spent over 3 days making this small little part. That just goes to show how 2.2 is not messing around. If I want this level to get finished soon, I will have to put in more effort. But yeah, this is the progress I have made so far.